Hi, lovely people. We are going to talk about simplifying our fraction answers, right? This is a super important skill we need as we're working in our fraction unit. So let's talk about how do I know if my fraction is simplified? There are a couple different ways to know if you have a simplified fraction. The first one I like to call one and done. If your numerator is a 1, then you are done. So if I have something like 1/3, well, my numerators is a 1. I know I can't get smaller than that because that's my smallest whole number. So I am done. Just 1 and done. Another way to tell if you have a simplified fraction is if both your top and bottom numbers, so your numerator and denominator, are prime numbers and they are not factors of each other. So for instance, if I have like 3/7, well, 3 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number, 3 does not go into 7, so I know that I am done and simplified. Another way to tell if I'm simplified is if I have number neighbors as my answer. If your numbers are next to each other on the number line, then you are in simplified form, those number neighbors. So like 8/9 would be simplified. 11/12 would be simplified. 1/2 or 1/2 would be simplified. So if your numbers are neighbors on the number line, then you are simplified. And again, well, not again, but the last one that I kind of like to use is if your answer is a whole number, right? So if you have an improper fraction that ends up being a whole number, well, you are done and done. For example, if I have 25/5, well, 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I know that I'm done because I have a whole number answer. So these little tricks help me figure out if my answer is simplified. So let's practice some strategies to simplifying our fractions. Say I have a problem and my answer gives me 3/18 and I want to simplify 3/18. Well, I can make what's called a factor rainbow. 3 is easy. 3 is only factors are 1 and 3. So I can connect those and make a little rainbow. Kind of a sad little rainbow, but I can make a little rainbow. And I'm going to do the same thing with 18. 18 is 1 times 18. It is 2 times 9. It is also 3 times 6. And all of those numbers are factors of the number 18. When I make the factor rainbow, I'm looking for my greatest common factor, right? My GCF. So I'm looking for the biggest number that they both share. Well, they both share the number 3. So that's my greatest common factor, my GCF. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 3 to simplify my fraction. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6. I know I'm simplified because I'm 1 and done. That numerator is a 1 and I can't get smaller than that. So I am finished. All right, let's look again at a different example. Say I have 21/28. 21/28. Well, I could do a factor rainbow for both of those. You could also do a T-chart for both of those. Or I can think to myself, kind of thinking of my multiplication facts, what number goes into 21 and 28? Well, I know just from experience that those are both divisible by 7, right? 7s aren't my favorite, as you guys know, but I've worked on them long enough that I know 7 goes into both of those. So 21 divided by 7 is 3. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And I know that I'm simplified because those numbers are number neighbors. So 3/4 is my simplified answer. All right, let's look at some other ones. Let's look at 27/63. Well, if I'm looking for the greatest common factor, I know 3 goes into both of those numbers. And I think 9 goes into both of those numbers. So let's try 9. Sometimes just try the biggest one that you know, and then you simplify it, and then you kind of see if you have to simplify it again. So I know that 27 divided by 9 is 3. And I know 63 divided by 9 is 7. So I think to myself, can I make those smaller? Well, 3 is a prime number, right? If we made a factor rainbow for 3, it's only divisible by 1 and 3. And 7 is a prime number. 7 is only divisible by 1 and 7. The only common factor that they share is 1, which means it is already in simplified form. Those are prime numbers that aren't factors of each other, so we are simplified. All right, let's try one more. Let's do some rainbow here. So let's do 20 over 4. Well, wait a minute. I have an improper fraction here. With an improper fraction, I think to myself, the fraction bar means division, right? Fraction bar means division. So if I just take 20 divided by 4, I get 5. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 5 is a whole number, and I can't make that any smaller. So that is just my answer, right? So I know that I'm done because that improper fraction gave me a whole number answer. So I can't go smaller than that. One strategy, though, if we wanted to just kind of circle back a little bit to 20 divided by 4, if you're not great with your multiplication facts, and again, no shame in that game, then I can recognize that both of these are even numbers. And because they're even numbers, they're divisible by 2. So I could make them smaller. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Well, I could look again and go, well, wait a minute. Both of those are even numbers. So I could divide by 2 again. So sometimes it's just by just taking small steps to get to that final answer. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I know any number over 1 is just that number. 5 divided by 1 is 5. So if you kind of have some big numbers and you want to make them a little smaller, it is perfectly acceptable to start with a little number that they share as a factor and then divide and divide again. Remember, if they're both even, you can start by dividing by 2. It's a nice way to kind of get the ball rolling till you get some of those smaller numbers that you like better. All right, let me know if you have any questions on simplifying fractions, and I'll see you later. Love you. Bye.